COVID-19, I know like we are hearing so much from the expert, scientists, as well as doctors. But when it comes to like as a common man, we don't understand most technical things. So being an IT professional, I think you have read from the basics and we can explain in the better, simple language. And so before we start, I just wanted to understand like what is the current situation in India and other countries, and what do we see in coming days when it will be over.
Okay, sure. So thank you for the nice introduction, and hopefully we will spend some time on sharing my experience and knowledge. Obviously, as you stated, I am not a medical expert, so what I'll share would be just based on what I have being gone through, reading through the authentic information. I tried always to get the authentic information either from medical experts. Those are the either doctors, medical journals, science journals, WHO, or other relevant authentic information. Yeah. So, in order to answer your first question, where we stand today, so I think as we all know that this started in the month of December 2019 in China, but uh, by the time every country got to know about this either by experiencing or by the channels like WHO, it was can be said a bit late. Means somewhere around the uh, March 2020, countries got a bit more centric around this. So yeah, if we say where we stand, so all countries, most of the countries have been affected. There is no doubt about that. USA has been the worst affected, and if we talk about India start in the starting phase, we were looking quite good. Means it was looking that we have, because of the severe strict lockdown, we have been able to control it. But as the lockdown starts loosening, or we started opening up, India has also come joined the top list, and it is in the I think in the at the third number currently.
Right. And
So
last night I heard news like there was very big impact on the Delhi, which is our national capitals, and now we are seeing the recovery rate reach to the 89%. I think that's very good news for everyone.
yeah, so recovery rate, if I talk about in the whole world, India is looking better. Means we are overall in India, I think it stands somewhere around 63 to 65 percent. Means out of 16 lakhs cases, I think currently we have around I think around 4 to 5 lakhs active cases. Yeah, so when we talk about like Delhi or Mumbai or a part of the India, there has been so uh, how it spreads or how the curve goes to exponential level, and then it reaches the peak, and then somehow it slows down. It is low. It is we can say geography specific, or it is the region specific. Like initially we saw the too much spread in the Maharashtra area,
Right.
and then in the Delhi, and so the curve or the graph, like even in the USA initially it was New York, Washington, then I think the recent Texas, Arizona, and other states. So the whole country will not see the peak at one time. That's what my main point. It will be always like we will see the peak in some state at some time, and then it goes down.
Right. And something I noticed like the other pandemic or epidemic, we've seen that that comes in the wave forms. Like it goes up for a certain time, then it slow down, and then we will see the second wave. But in this COVID case, I think it's been like there has been one hit in all the state or like cities like New York, and now it has been slowed down. But fortunately we did not see any other waves. That's good sign.
Yeah, so basically we cannot say it has been slowed down. What we can say is that in fact the whole thing about COVID-19 is
Okay.
initially, as the government has been seeing it, showing it, and the people has been seeing it and taking it is with the infectious rate, but that does not stand anywhere, or that does not matter much. I feel these days, what matters these days is the mortality. What that means is that we cannot do much thing about means the infection will definitely come more and more as the testing will increase, as we will cover much more population, we will get more cases definitely. But the whole control, or the whole bureaucracy, whole department, government, or the healthcare
Right.
currently
I think we
are
everybody
trying to reduce
need to cooperate. Yes. Right.
reduce the mortality. There cannot be much thing done about the infectious rate. It's about reducing the mortality.
Right. And the next question I have, just like, what? How do you explain a virus to a person who's not aware about the medical word, and how it originate first time you said we everybody know it originate from the China, but what is the property of the virus and how it impact our body?
Okay. So virus is a pathogen. It is something like if we talk about living or non-living, it stands somewhere in between.
Right.
So what that means is that it has the property to grow, but it cannot grow itself. It needs a human body or human cell or even animal cell in order to survive. Means without an active body or active specific thing which it needs to grow, it cannot survive on its own. So it needs something through which it can grow. Without that support, human cells or animal cells, it will die
So we are hearing some kind of like interruption due to the internet, I believe. So, right, I think that's the main difference between a bacteria and the virus. I think bacteria is a living cells which can grow itself, but virus
Mhm.
need somebody, some cells to spread.
Yeah, without which it dies. It dies without it dies, and
Right.
that's why once it enters into our body, then it basically captures the cells, what we call nuclei, or its machinery of making things, and then it starts its reproduction, and then it starts making multiple copies of itself. That's what we see in the cancer or other infectious disease.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it goes.
So I think there is a big universe in that all around us, and then we have a small universe inside our as a physical body. More you read, and more you will be thinking to go deeper and deeper. Right.
Yeah, we have trillions of cells in our human body, and we have trillions of what we call microbes. Microbes are like either bacteria, fungus, virus, all these small particles. They always remain in our body. They always remain on our skin. They always remain something in our saliva. They always remain in our intestine. They always remain in our stomach. They always remain in our lungs, liver, different type of bacteria, and bacteria or the virus, and all are not harmful. Many bacteria, if we talk about the bacteria, many bacteria are even useful for the body. We cannot live properly if we don't have those bacteria, and that's why sometimes the use of antibiotics is not recommended, or overuse of the antibiotic is not recommended, because these strong antibiotics sometimes, along with killing the infectious bacteria, they also kill the good bacteria. Means along with killing the bad bacteria which we want to remove, they also kill the good bacteria. That's why we get some issue with these antibiotics.
Right, and I think it's good. Like our body has its own natural healing powers, where it can overcome any kind of diseases. So, how the body react to those bacteria or the virus?
Oh, great, yeah. So that's where the immune system will come into the picture. We all have a immune system in our body. As we take the birth, immunity, we start with some immunity. That is called, we can say, the inherited immunity that comes from our we can say placenta or mother's things, and then the immunity develops. So one is the inherent immunity that we will get by birth, and then as we expose ourselves to the things, we will get the immunity. Now there are certain level of immunity. One is, can be said, I probably won't remember the exact terms, but I'll try to best of my knowledge. One is the first is the barrier immunity, which is the like our skin, or skin. So means first thing, we won't get anything because our skin is protecting. Like nothing will get into our lungs because we have a whole layer of bones and multiple layer of skin, so nothing can get. If we don't have the skin, then anything can stick into our lungs, liver, and all those. So first is that this called what we call the barrier immunity, which is via our the body itself. Then is the uh, what is called innate immunity, and then is called specific immunity. So innate immunity is a generic immunity, and specific immunity is a specific immunity, means which will work on a specific virus. So the first we will protect, first we are protected by the skin, that is the barrier in immunity. But if something we take in via the mouth, via the eyes, via any other thing, by inhaling the virus inside our body, then the innate immunity will come into picture, and the innate immunity will try to kill the virus. And immunity means we have a kind of, you can say, a warrior army. They will try to basically kill the virus by fighting with those. So the advantage of innate immunity is that it reacts very fast. Means as we have entered the virus, it will see that something we don't want has entered into our body, and it will try to get away with that. But this is not a very this kill some of the virus and the bacteria, but it does not kill all of the virus like the coronavirus and many other disease. That's where the concept of acquired immunity comes in. Acquired immunity is something which we already don't have. It will develop by pattern, by recognize something that this is the thing. So it takes time, around 5 to 7 days it takes to develop, and then it works. But that is a very specific immunity. One of the best advantage of specific immunity is that once it is developed, it remains in our body.
Okay.
Say, like so that's why we say that like the measles or like the coronavirus or like any other such kind of virus which develop the specific immunity or acquired immunity, once it is developed, it will there. So if we get those disease once, probably or most of the time we don't get it next time, because even if we get it, that will not affect our body because we already have the immunity against that. That's why that's how the yeah, even the vaccines work.
Okay,
We
that's
probably
good.
can
Like
discuss
we
about.
have our self defense mechanism, and but again, there is a medical science. So, how much the medical science has been progress in past few months to fight against, and what are the available options if somebody get the positives with the COVID-19?
Okay. So in terms of medical science development, there are two things going on. One is the therapy, or which we can the drugs, and other is the vaccine. So therapy or the drugs is something which will work once we have got the disease and now we want to treat it. So that will be treated by the drugs. That's where the drugs comes into picture. So there are certain level of drugs being used. I'll come try to cover. And then the vaccine is something which does not treat. It is vaccine does not treat you. Means if you have got the virus, then vaccine won't work. Vaccine is something kind of the prevention thing. So vaccine is taken in order to induce you the immunity. So the specific immunity which I was talking about earlier, that will that will be generated only once we have caught the virus and we have been remain sick for several days, and then we build this specific immunity. But by the vaccine, we just inject this immunity.
Okay.
So vaccine is a prevention. Vaccine does not treat you. So if you drugs are playing its important role because we already have so many patients in millions. Though those who are already infected or who will be infected in coming days won't be treated by the vaccine. They need the drugs.
Okay, so I think we have like three different options. One is that you have your own immunity to fight with the minor kind of a virus, and if it is impacts more, then we can go for this the
Drugs.
medicines or the drugs. And once
Hmm.
we have a vaccine, then it's good advice to take the vaccine. Or
Yeah, because that will just induce you the immunity, and you won't get sick. You might get the virus, but you won't get sick.
Mhm. So any recommendation for a public as well as that other first line workers and then government, what do you suggest now how we can fight with it?
So my suggestion to the government or the bureaucracy, or I think they are have already realized that, but it is that uh, what we have been hearing the term flattening the curve, flattening the curve, flattening the curve of infectious shall not be the main factor. Flattening the curve of the mortality shall be the main factor. Means if those states or those countries which are having the mortality of 5% or say 3%, they shall try to make it less than 1%. That should be the, and that I think some medical expert has also advised. So testing, tracing, and isolating. This is the key thing in order to work on. Means do the more test, because by doing the more test, we get to know that this person is infected and we can isolate him. So for the government, what should be the main criteria? That uh, do more tests, identify them easily, and then provide them good home care. The key thing here is that uh, we have three kind of illness. One is the which is most frequent, around 82%, which either don't get much sick, which we are called like the less symptomatic, or those who don't get much severe illness. They get treated either by normal paracetamol or simple vitamin C and zinc and all those those normal drugs. They can be treated at home, so don't need to admit each and every patient, which I think earlier was the case, especially in India, where each and every patient, irrespective even if how fit he is, was either being given to COVID care center, and that's where I think a fear was generating, especially in India, that even if we get the virus, we will be thrown into those government institutions which are not that of comfort zone which they are used to. They have been even hiding their disease even if they are, because of that fear. So now I think this some states have adopted this home isolation. Best was the Delhi, where I think we see a very good improvement. And they just need a kind of telemedicine. Once a doctor will can check their basic parameters, and that's how it is treated. But the hospital door shall not be closed, or no serious patient should be denied basically. That should be the each and every state nation's main policy or main importance should be given only to this, that no serious patient is being denied the admission
Yeah, I think that's
into
very
hospital.
important. Sometime when the people
Yeah,
are in very critical stage, we should be given the priority and get treated first. And
yeah, and that can be only possible. Yeah, that can be only possible when we receive only the serious patient. If we are just taking every patient who can be treated at home, because there is no specific daily injection or daily thing is going on. You just keep them giving normal medicine, then those bed free for someone who can't survive without oxygen, without those things. Yeah.
yes,
And just one important point for general public, I think, is to monitor themselves. All has been shared so many times that masking, social distancing, regular hand hygiene, these are the like normal things for everyone should take care. Even if they get this now this virus, don't need to be worried at all. Just have a kind of telemedicine call with your first doctor, and until some seriousness is coming, you don't need to worry. How will you will get to know the seriousness? One is visibly get to know that you are really badly tired. But there is some important tools like what we call the oximeter. This is becoming a home necessary tool, another tool like the thermometer. We
okay,
all visit on the thermometer. Now everyone family should have a oximeter, especially those having the senior citizens, travelers. Oximeter is a kind of device which is just attached to your finger, and it tells you the oxygen saturation level. And that is the biggest fear in corona, because once the oxygen level drops to certain level, then that's where the risk comes. So if we
okay.
can
I
catch
think
that early by just yeah,
yeah, I think that's something very important. People need to be having such tools at their hand, and whenever they need, they can just
yeah,
identify. I just Google this, and that's the right one, right? Are you able to see my
yeah,
screen? Oximeter, right?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes, oximeter. So it tells you the oxygen saturation, and sometimes we don't feel it. That is called the happy hypoxia. What that means is that we are not feeling that we are having less oxygen. Means normally we are feeling okay, but actually we are having it. So it is recommended that over 95% is good. 90 to 95 means it is now getting a bit worried, but not to the hospital level. But if it is getting the saturation is going below 88, then it is means you then need to consult your doctor. And some are advising also to have some oxygen supply even at home, if just for emergency thing.
Right,
But
right.
medical consultation is always recommended. Don't do much home thing. Just whatever you are doing, just consult with your doctor once, even on phone or the video call. Most of the hospitals these days, even in India or probably in other country, also providing the video call or the home call facility where you can be advised good.
Right. I think the
Don't need
counseling
to.
is very important. When a person gets sick, the first things comes the fears, and then fears does not go away easily unless you educate the person a little about the impact and then nature of the virus. So once the people have that confidence, I think he can overcome the diseases
Yeah,
very.
true. So yeah, you have made a very good point. Means we basically, yeah. So it's not only about medical help, that is definitely there, and there was just a terms which I was just reading a few minutes back. Palliative care, it is called palliative care, where the doctor basically just give the counseling to the affected person, affected family, that what kind of disease is this, what you need to be aware of, and basically just providing motivational, emotional uh, support to the affected person, that how you will get better in coming days.
Okay. And you have worked with many doctors as well as other bureaucracy in writing them through the Twitter or other social media platform. So would you like to share something like how is the response from those teams, and how we all other people can support such things? And again,
No,
just as
for okay, so here okay, so where I have been using Twitter or any social media on this.
right.
So one thing is that I have started. There was actually, I think I have been already, and I know that along with pandemic there is a term called infodemic.
Mm-hmm.
So infodemic is a term which WHO recently introduced, where we are having too much information and all we don't know its authenticity.
Okay.
So somebody will say that if you take this kada, if you take this tablet, or if you take lemon hot water, or means, so there is a lot of induce of the information, and but with no scientific proof. So and that's where a lot of misinformation or ill information was being shared, and sometime instead of doing it good, it might harms by just trusting on that and not connecting the medical thing. So where I have started basically following and reading a lot of medical professional, either the medical professional doctors has been sharing a very authentic medical research. The Lancet is the most I think most famous in medical fraternity, the Lancet journal, which where lots of research about the virus, about the vaccine, about the test, about the drugs has keep on coming, and I try to read through them. So I get the authentic information which can be trusted. And on the bureaucracy, what I have been sometime doing is that I have seen a kind of just I wanted to cover up something on the test. So we have three kind of tests in order to diagnose whether a person has COVID or not. One is the RT-PCR test, another is the antigen test, and third is the antibody test. So RT-PCR is the molecular based test that what I just say that it is the most specific or most accurate test. What that means, if you have the virus, there are 100 or 99% or quite a lot good chance that this test will give you positive report. But the other test, which is called the antigen test, here we have a very low sensitivity. What that means is that we 50% sensitivity they have, and what that means is that in 50% of the case we might get false negative. So if we did the 500 test and we get say 300 negative, there might be 150 false negative, means they have the virus, they have the but this was not good, and that is a very dangerous sign if this is not further verified. So because the test has given that you are fine, but actually you have it, and now you are roaming, you are basically spreading it freely. That's where it is very dangerous. So although I think the medical guideline or the ICMR guideline was this, that just that RT-PCR test is definitely gold standard, but do the antigen test. The antigen test was preferred because of its fast report or the quick result. The RT-PCR test usually take around 4 to 6 hours, but because of the backlog or because of this long time and hard lab requirement, it was becoming in few states or few districts where we don't have the RT-PCR lab. The delays was like 5 days, 6 days, or 7 days. The report was coming. Even person has died, and its report has come next day. So the antigen test was recommended because it was giving very fast result. At least we can uh, start the treatment if the COVID has come. Even if, but their recommendation was that if it is positive, then yes, start the treatment. If it is negative, then do the PCR. RT-PCR test, but few states were not doing that, and that's where I have been, especially to governments that how many, when they publish the report, that please publish that how many are antigen, how many are RT-PCR, how many were the negative in the antigen, whether those were verified by the RT-PCR or not.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. So I think these are the very important information. And if you have some articles or you wanted to write something, I think share me the link and then I will post on the chat window. And we are running out of time. So I think we can have more sessions in coming days. And meanwhile, we need to be stay safe and keep
Yeah.
ourselves healthy. So anything else, Tarun, you want to share? Or
Yeah, probably just I wanted to cover something on the vaccine, but yeah, we can do that on the next session. I just wanted to share that we have a very good progress on the, I think, the vaccine development, especially 2, 3 countries are very around. There are lots of candidates which are looking good. The most important one, or the most positive one is from the UK, Oxford University.
mm-hmm.
The Jenner Institute has been developing a vaccine. It has basically already developed for the SARS and the MERS, and that's where its confidence is that high that they have already tie up with the Indian lab called Serum Institute, that they have started the production of the vaccine. Even if, while it is still in trial, the phase 3 trial has started. But they are very confident, and since the demand of the vaccine is too high in terms of quantity, and if they start developing the vaccine only after the phase 4 trial, and which is still going to take around 3-4 months, then it might be delayed. So that's why they are very confident and started the vaccine, the Oxford one. And the another is the then from the USA, what is, I think, Moderna.
Mm-hmm.
They have also started the phase 3 trial. So we, by the year end, I think we shall expect a vaccine. And then from India, Bharat Institute, I think, is developing a vaccine and starting the phase 2 trials. Yeah.
Yes.
But it will be prioritized according to the various things. Yeah, means it can't be given to 700 billion people on the world at once. So first it will be given to the, there will be some
Right. Yes, I think that will take its own time, and we have to find the alternate, or not alternate, but yes, keep the life moving in the safe and secure way so that we can overcome
yeah,
these
just by
issues.
yeah, just by the time keep following whatever the state and the government and the health medicals guidance, and just keep it social distancing, mask, just wear a mask whenever you're going outside, and hand hygiene. These three are the key
And
and important.
I like following
Mask.
your tweets, and I think you are doing very good work on that, and we love to receive that kind of informations. Would you be able to share your tweet account here for the chat, or you want me to?
Yeah, sure. It's Tarun K. Gupta.
Okay.
Tarun K. Gupta too. Sorry.
All right. So again, once again, thank you. And I think this topic cannot be covered in half an hour or in one day. We can have that more in coming days and bring more.
Sure.
If somebody you know from the expert or medical history will like to have more
Yeah.
conversation. Appreciate your time.
Sure,
Thank
sure,
you.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
It was a good discussion with you. Thank you very much. Okay.